Greetings. Welcome to World Religions. I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be a wonderful adventure. I do want to orient you a little bit to the syllabus. It's really important that the very first thing you do anytime you take a class is get out the syllabus. On my syllabus, you'll see an actual calendar that I think you should print out. It's got dates, deadlines, visits, all kind of great information on that, and it'll give you a really helpful timeline. Today I want to orient you a little bit to the expectations in the class and the objectives and goals that we have in this class. As you can see here, there are 4 basic goals and objectives. One of the things that's really important to me is that you really move to those higher order thinking skills of analyzing, really looking at information, comparing, contrasting, and really taking into context all the things that are happening, that are going on in the readings and in the activities that we're doing. Integrating those two things, the readings with the activities and things that we do, are the way that you process that information. So that's really important. One of the things that's going to happen is you have some kind of religious background that you come with, or you have none. Either way, you certainly have some beliefs and some things that you have thought about in terms of your own philosophy about religion or about your religion. One of the things that's going to happen in this class, I hope, is that you're going to expand that and have a bigger vision of your personal faith as well as the faiths that you study. And I think studying other faiths sometimes really is helpful to us in crystallizing our own faith. I hope that you'll develop an appreciation for the wonderful, diverse world of world religion. There are so many wonderful people practicing their faith in colorful and wonderful, rich ways, and I hope you develop an appreciation for that. It's also so important these days in our culture and in our world to find common ground with those who are different from us, who come from different cultures, different religions, and I trust that that will be something else that will happen for you in this class. It's really important that you read the text. Hard to believe, but from time to time I get students who do think that they'll be able to avoid reading the text. Now, there are good ways to read college texts. I'm not necessarily a front-to-back person either, and some of you may not be. But I do think it's important to go through the text, to find the answers to the questions you're looking for, to highlight each section, to figure out what information is important to you. At the end of our chapters, there are questions for reflection. I tend to go to that first, find out what the questions are, and then go back and make sure I'm finding the answers to those questions. But all of your experiences that we have in this class will take you back to reflecting on that text and how these religions in the textbook actually play out in these people's lives and the lives of the people who practice these religions. General rules for writing all of the papers that you'll be writing in this class. One of the things that I'd like you to really work on using is MLA or APA format. I'm really not that fussy which. I don't really measure margins, but I think that they both provide really fabulous guidelines for how to choose fonts, how to justify to the left, and different things that they'll help you do if you follow them. You can just Google what they are, and they're also probably included in other college literature we have. I can get it for you if you need it. But I think it's important that you follow that. It's good practice for professional writing, and you all want to be professional writers. Good grammar and sentence structure are also incredibly important. For some of you, that may be a challenge. We do have a lab on campus, and the people there are wonderful about helping you proof papers and maybe learn some skills that you might not otherwise have. Writing papers is how you communicate in writing, and it's really critical that you do it well, that you use clear and concise speech to make sure you're accomplishing the objectives that you want to set forth, that you have set forth. It's really important that papers and everything in this class be done in a timely fashion, because we are going to be going through so many world religions that it's very critical that you keep up and that we're discussing these online or discussing them in class in a timely manner when we're studying that religion. The papers relate to the 4 units in this text. The visits relate to the units in this text. So really paying attention to the timeline is important. The A papers will be the papers that are turned in a timely fashion, that are written, well written, and that really integrate the ideas from the textbook and the information about these world religions. There's also a bunch of videos you'll see. Some are necessary and some are for additional information. But integrating all of that into your own personal experience is really important. So make sure you stay with the timeline. Let's talk a minute about visits. Students are always anxious and excited about visits. These are two examples of visits that my students have taken in past semesters. One is Florida Friends Mosque in Fort Pierce, and it was a wonderful experience. And the other is Takashi Ashram in Sebastian, Florida, to talk about Hinduism. These visits are absolutely a requirement of the class. You must go on them. Now, you may go on them with me, which I would love because that way I get to spend more time with you and help you process and enjoy. And it's also very wonderful to walk into a place and know somebody already when you walk in the door. So I really encourage you. These visits will be on my calendar. There are 4 visits. One is an Eastern religion, either Hinduism or Buddhism. And on the website, on the blackboard, I have where these different places of worship are, so please do look for those and pay attention to them. But I'll make visits throughout the semester to these places. One is to a Jewish synagogue, and one is to a mosque, and one is to a Christian church. If you happen to be one of those religions, I would ask that your visit not be to your home place of worship. I'd like you to experience some diversity in this class, even within your own faith. It's a great way to really clarify your own thinking and your own belief systems, and to understand how people of a different church or different worship place worship. One of the things we have to be very careful about in a survey class such as this is that we avoid generalizations like all Hindus or all Christians believe, because it may not be the case. But anyway, that's visits. Come with me because it really will be an exciting adventure. Now, when you write your reflection, this needs to be a minimum of 400 words. My stickler about word count is really not just me being kind of annoying, although it is, but it's really about you being able to have enough space and time and words to convey a meaningful reflection in the papers and in the visits. And the most important thing I want you to think about as you're making these visits is, how does this visit inform your understanding of the religion? And this is your opportunity to reflect back on the text and the discussion that you've already learned about this religion. Take that information now and process it as you see people in the actual act of worship in their worship places. Additionally, you might want to look at how you felt when you were in the service, welcoming. Did you know what was expected of you? How awkward was that? Did you know what to do? What did you observe? We're looking at things like ritual, symbol, beliefs. We're looking at a whole realm of things. How do these different elements of religion, were they expressed in this worship experience that you had? What was your comfort? What did you love about it? What made you uncomfortable? That's kind of your growing edge, your discomfort. We're moving that growing edge in a new direction. So there'll be places of discomfort, but that's where you really want to challenge yourself to new thinking. Were you able to speak to somebody? I would really encourage you to try and do that. Engaging with people in the worship visits is hugely wonderful. My students have met new people, found new friends, and learned a great deal about the religion from just speaking with people who are there. So please do that. The 4 other papers are different topics. There's 4 different topics, and you'll see them on the calendar. I would encourage you to always go back to those class objectives that I put on the first slide that are also on the syllabus that you'll be looking at. And really going back to those objectives, because they tie very much into the purpose of each paper. And this is where you have a chance to, again, to reflect on the text and what you've learned about the information, integrate it with your own thinking and feeling, and then, in your experience in the visits that you're able to make, you obviously aren't making them for all 14 religions. But it's a really chance to look at how have you grown in your thinking and what's the common ground that you've learned about these different religions. I want to make a comment on the use of I. A lot of times in academic papers we avoid using I. World religion's a little bit different because you're in the midst of this, and so there is a place for your personal view, clearly. However, this is not an opportunity to only expound on your own personal thinking, but also back it up with good academic evidence, good text evidence, good evidence from videos, from visits, to really substantiate what you personally are feeling and thinking and observing as you go through this class. A couple final thoughts. Just know Blackboard has a plagiarism checker built right in. It's really good. Don't test it. It brings right up a flag and a %. Just saying, few people thought they could get around that. Secondly, just call me, text me. You'll have my number, my personal number, my email, my IRSC course messaging. There's no excuse not to be in touch with me. My goal is to be here for you and to help this be a successful class for you and to really help you enjoy and explore the world of world religions. And hang on, this is going to be a life-changing ride. Enjoy.